news, everyone.
I'm back, baby.
It's Jake Ciely.
I'm great. Everybody else sucks.
Oh,
Oh no! It's every nightmare I've ever had!
Excuse me?
It's time to check the link.
Pretty crazy, huh? But it doesn't matter because none of this has anything to do with the show.
You know what? You just made the list!
Oh, wait, you serious? Let me laugh even harder.
It's all in football.
Sure, we talk about it all the time. Really? No.
What's up, you ducks? Week 12. No, 13. I don't even know what week it is anymore. I know. Gosh, week 13. And that's an extra week on top of it because playoffs would normally be starting next week. And they're not. They're starting in 2 weeks. But
we had an argument about that. Do you remember that? We had an argument about that, and you did not believe me.
About what?
Yeah, about because playoffs this year are 15, 16, 17, not 14, 15, right? 16. We argued about that.
14, no, we never said that was 14, 15,
my God.
16.
Someone go back and find the clip. I will, and I will show you. Yeah, check the tape. No. Receipts.
Never happened because we had this whole conversation forever on the other show because wonderful Brandon Funston on The Athletic used to be the insane person who played his championship in week 17. So
no.
Yes.
No.
So yeah. Lauren at Stepmom Lauren, by the way, if you're not following her, stepmomlauren.com. Already wearing Christmas stuff. Yeah. I'm wearing the shout out to Saved by the Bell, but it's Save Me from Hell with like the prayer hands. So
that's funny.
Yeah. So what else? BetsTV. Make sure you can watch on there. Watch on both YouTube. Thumbs up, subscribe. Which, by the way, today and tomorrow, the last final 2 days to get us 3 gift cards. Lauren, you weren't here. It's 3 gift cards instead of 2 because I wanted to make sure, like the person in Australia said that he couldn't use the GameStop gift card. So instead, it's now an Xbox, a PlayStation, and a Nintendo 50-50-50 gift cards.
Man.
So there you go. Thumbs up, comment after the video on YouTube. That's where the comments have to be. Subscribe, 5 stars, and review on iTunes, and then send me a screenshot at the end of Wednesday. I'm going to combine all of them, and then congratulations. Christmas presents coming. Belated, thank you. Thunderstruck.
Hey, buddy.
So thank you. Appreciate that. Thank you for all the birthday wishes, but we're gonna jump right into it because I actually wish present I could go ahead and give Dalvin Cook my health because Dalvin Cook at the worst time of the year as we get into the playoffs goes down. But here's the interesting thing, Lauren. How many weeks? 13. Yes, 13 weeks. We've been talking and saying, do not let the high-end backups at running back sit on waivers, and yet Alexander Mattison out there in a lot of leagues. Amir Abdullah and Chuba Hubbard out there in a lot of leagues. Devontae Booker's been dropped. Jeff Wilson's been dropped. Darrell Williams has been dropped. If you've learned nothing, do not let this happen to you. And if somebody in your league is dropped, Khalil Herbert dropped. Do not let these guys happen. Alexander Mattison, if you have fab, are you dropping every single potential dollar you have left, Lauren?
That depends. If someone like Chuba Hubbard is available, I might spend more money on Chuba Hubbard simply because I know he's going to be rest of season, as opposed to Madison. But Madison has the higher upside.
Debate coming.
I know. It's tough. I mean, yeah, I could. I could go either way. I could make an argument for both sides.
Okay, well, so here's my argument. Madison is every single dollar left. Here's why. Dalvin Cook at least 2 to 3 weeks. Could be the rest of the season.
Yep.
So here's where I'm going to go. I disagree on the Hubbard for everybody out there saying, you're not the only one saying this, but everybody out there is saying Hubbard. Sure, he was Hubbard before. That was before Amir Abdullah got signed. And Amir Abdullah,
I know, but it's Amir Abdullah. Man, I don't know.
It is.
It's so hard to put faith in that.
I let you finish. Let me finish. It's my show.
Nah, no.
Birthday present. Let me finish.
Happy birthday.
That was yesterday. You don't even count. You've messed up so many things already this week. So last 3 weeks, Amir Abdullah is playing in front of Chuba Hubbard, but mainly in the passing game. I don't disagree, and I don't say that Amir Abdullah is going to all of a sudden get 20 touches. Here's my concern, and here's what I'm saying. This is now a backfield we're going to talk about is the Titans. It's Deonta Foreman, Dontrell Hilliard. It's going to be split now with no Christian McCaffrey. And who's quarterback now, Lauren? The rushes are taken away, and the rushing touchdowns are taken away. So I'm going Abdullah's for his upside, similar to Hilliard, over Foreman/Hubbard, who will be the main lead rushing back. So actually, that's why I say, like, even if stands, I would take 3 weeks of Madison, even if we knew this was going to be the split, because they're both fringe RB2s at best.
Yeah. I mean, I definitely see your argument for sure. It's so.
You agree?
Yeah, absolutely. I like I said, I could make an argument for both sides. I get it. I can understand why someone would want to have someone like Chuba Hubbard. I don't have a ton of faith in Amir Abdullah. I feel like I've heard that name for forever. He used to be on the Lions. So I don't know.
The Vikings.
I don't know. It's really tough. And it's just, it's hard. But yeah, I think out of all of them, I do agree with you that Alexander Mattison should be the first and foremost add 100%. Because I mean, and now that I think about it too, even if Dalvin Cook, let's say, does come back in 2 weeks, or 3 weeks, how healthy is he going to be? Are they going to be just ground and pound with him again? Or we're going to talk about another split backfield here between Madison and Dalvin Cook? So who are you going to get more of more often? It sounds like it's going to be Alexander Mattison. So you've changed my mind. Good job. Good job, Jay.
Well, and if you look at the Carolina Panthers, Christian McCaffrey immediately done for the year because the second time on IR, but they put him on IR, which tells me it's an ankle sprain. And even if they thought it was only 3 weeks, they've kind of said, you know what? Why are we going to do this? So the reason I go and I say, what if Dalvin Cook? Now, I'm not saying I know something and I'm predicting. I'm saying Dalvin Cook's not returning. I'm just saying, what if the Vikings go 0-3 the next 3 games? Why are they bringing back Dalvin Cook? They're not going to bring back Dalvin Cook when they know what they have in Dalvin Cook, which every report, by the way, for everybody that doesn't know on this shoulder injury, separated shoulder, which you cannot heal 100% with rest. Now, it can get as best as it can, but all the reports are you need surgery, which you probably want to avoid in general because the shoulder just weakens. I'm doing the quick version if anybody wants to go do the research. Point being, Dalvin Cook coming back in 3 weeks would be worse for his long-term outlook on the shoulder than it would be if he just sat out the rest of the season. So I'm saying that from the Vikings perspective of like, okay, we're out of it, when knowing that the medical side of it. So for Brett, real quick, by the way, you missed out. You should have subscribed to The Athletic. I have these guys ranked in order. So I'll ask you, Lauren, before I give the answer that I have. What order would you pick up these 3 running backs? Khalil Herbert, Amir Abdullah, there's your boy, and Dontrell Hilliard.
Ooh. Okay, I would go Hilliard. Oh my gosh, Amir Abdullah, then Khalil Herbert. That is weird. I can't even believe I'm saying that out loud. But yeah, that's the order I would like.
There you go. Welcome to Ben that finally watched live. Love it. Yeah, day
welcome.
off. And he's got a question. Do I put my full fab on Madison and then do lesser bids on Michelle and Wilson in case 17 doesn't get Madison? Absolutely. Because here's the list, and I'm kind of curious. I'll kind of rattle off the list, so I'll go slow. Not that you're dumb, but slow because I want you to try and register each name. I realized as I was getting ready to say the sentences, I was gonna say I'll go slow for you, Lauren, and then I was gonna be like, that sounds like I'm saying Lauren's an idiot. But it's the high end backups. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8-ish. So that's why I was gonna say.
You're not asking me to rank 8, right? Because it's gonna be tough.
No. These are the 8 I'm gonna rank. So you tell me if you want to move them. They could do a Price is Right game here type of thing. So the top of the backups. Sony Michel's not in the top backups because Darrell Henderson has the quads thing happening. Sony Michel got boosted out of this because you need to pick up Sony Michel in case Darrell Henderson's out. But these are the ones that the lead option right now is healthy. I have Darrell Williams at number 1. Right behind him, Ronald Jones. In case, but if something happens to Leonard Fournette. Okay, so you might push him down. Number 3, Jeff Wilson. Would you go Jeff Wilson or Ronald Jones?
I would go Jeff Wilson over Ronald Jones.
Okay. Would you go Jeff Wilson over Darrell Williams?
No. No,
okay.
I wouldn't do that.
Khalil Herbert at 4.
I like Khalil Herbert. I might put him ahead of Ronald Jones.
Okay, you're moving down Ronald Jones. Okay.
Keep going.
Number 5. It's mainly because of the team that Ronald Jones plays for.
It is, and there's a lot of passing. It's tough because I don't know. No, I'm sorry. Keep going. I don't want to get yelled at again for interrupting you, Prince. Let's go.
Number 5 is Devontae Booker.
Okay. Yeah.
Ronald Jones or Devontae Booker?
That's tough. I think I'll take Devontae Booker. I think I'll take Booker because of the offense that they are on. It's hard for me to see Tom Brady relying a lot, or the offense relying on Ronald Jones when that experiment has tried and failed already. And plus he has a ton of passing game or passing opportunities, passing options available to him, especially with Antonio Brown coming back here soon. So I think that the Giants might need to use Devontae Booker more than the Buccaneers would need to use Ronald Jones. So that's kind of my thought process there.
Okay. Carlos Hyde, number 6.
Oh my God. Urban Meyer's bestie.
Yeah. Ronald Jones or
I can't.
Carlos Hyde?
I can't. I'm still pushing Ronald Jones down. I'll take Carlos.
You would
Hyde.
take Carlos Hyde over Ronald Jones if
Yeah,
Leonard
because Urban
Fournette was
Meyer
down?
loves him. If Urban Meyer loves him.
Yeah, but Carlos Hyde is...
Giovanni Bernard is still there, and Tom Brady loves targeting Giovanni Bernard in the red zone.
Hey, look. Hey, whatever. Yeah, this is your list.
This is my list.
But would you... So is the list the same, but the list is still the same? Everybody else is just Ronald Jones keeps moving down?
Just Ronald Jones just keeps moving down. Like,
All
that's
right,
literally
so
what that is.
The last two, Dearness Johnston, because I said Dearness Johnston's still a next man up, even though there's 2 in front of him, because if either gets hurt, he's still an RB3. Like, that's we've already seen that. So Dearness Johnson or Ronald Jones, because if Ronald Jones, no Leonard Fournette, he's clearly the lead. Dearness Johnson is the second half. So you keep Ronald Jones at least in front of Dearness Johnson?
I could do that. I could do that. I don't like it, but I could, just for you, for your, I know that's gonna, you're mimicking me. This is scary. This is scary. Yeah, I'll do that for you for your birthday. How about that?
Last one, Philip Lindsay behind Myles Gaskin.
Ew, no. Give me Ronald Jones.
I also have Samaje Perine and Eno Benjamin up there because Chase Edmonds is out for at least week 14. Samaje Perine, Chris Evans got some work last week, but that was in a blowout. Samaje Perine still looks like the next one's up, but I would still say those are kind of like dice rolls.
Yes.
So let me ask you this way, because this is something I said yesterday with Chris, and I'm seeing if you have the similar opinion that we discussed. So if anybody missed the show yesterday, this is somebody, if you tuned in, this is where we're going. Get Lauren's opinion here now. All these names, all of them, I'm stashing, and I mean, I'm including Samaje Perine. I'm stashing him over Rex Burkhead and David Johnson and other Latavius Murray's even, because I don't want fill-ins anymore. And Alex Collins, I don't want an RB4. I don't need an RB4. Is RB4 ever going to get my lineup? No. If any of these guys gets in my lineup, that means the guy in front of him got hurt, and now I have an RB2. So I am stashing all these potential options over those run-of-the-mill waiver wire, I score 4 points, whoop-de-freaking-do guys.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, unless you are absolutely desperate for someone who is playing, that I 100% agree. I'm there.
Okay.
I'm with you.
All right. Okay. I like that you're with me on that one. So let's go back. We skipped over this one.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, don't go chasing Texans running backs. I sang that last time like the waterfalls. No scrubs on this show.
So lovely.
Jamal Williams. If DeAndre Swift is out, we've seen Jamal Williams, and we know Jamal Williams can be an RB2, but he's had some injuries this year. Jamar Jefferson should play and look decent in his one little showing out there. So, Lauren, if Jamal Williams is out there available in your league over the Carolina guys, because the Carolina guys are on bye, like how aggressive would you be for Jamal Williams, knowing it could potentially be a 1 week play and knowing potentially he doesn't get the workload we've seen before from Jamal Williams?
I don't mind. I don't mind being aggressive with that. Again, this shoulder issue is quote day to day. I don't know how much I trust that. And we've talked about this before on the show. You know, how honest, is the team being with us about his actual health? So, what's not to say that Jamal Williams is going to get a lot more work, even if DeAndre Swift does come back sooner rather than later. So I would be aggressive with Jamal Williams. I do like it, mostly because I don't like any of the wide receivers for the Lions, and they've got to be able to do something. And so far, that's only been with the running backs.
Oh, we do have one Lions wide receiver to talk about.
If we're going to talk about Josh Reynolds, I can't.
Hey, we might as well do it right now. You just brought
Let's
the
just
name.
get it over with. Let's just get it over with.
We haven't talked Lions wide receivers in weeks, to be fair. Honestly, it's been a long time.
It feels like it was yesterday, so that's...
No, just because you just refused. You're the don't go chasing Lions wide receivers.
I am. Oh my gosh, I am.
I think that's even harder to get. The don't go chasing Lions wide receivers.
No, that's not going to work.
Lions wideouts you could do. Look,
Yeah.
Josh Reynolds has a history. We know this. He has the history with Jared Goff from the Rams days. First game, nothing. Second game, a smattering. And then the third game, he finally looked like there was some kind of connection there. They need somebody besides TJ Hawkinson if this offense is going to be relevant down the stretch, especially with no DeAndre Swift. So,
Yes.
Josh, let me put it this way. The original place I had Josh Reynolds to talk about today, Lauren, was Josh Reynolds versus some names.
Mm-hmm.
So it's Josh Reynolds. Would you go after Josh Reynolds or Deshaun Jackson, who is still fourth in snaps despite that big play? Josh Reynolds or Tim Patrick in that miserable passing offense? Josh Reynolds or Curtis Samuel? So those are like Can I get you Josh Reynolds versus any of those guys?
I will take Josh Reynolds over Curtis Samuel.
Okay.
That's
but
it.
not over Deshaun Jackson,
No.
Not over Tim Patrick?
Nope. Nope. I like those two guys much better than I like Josh Reynolds. Don't get me wrong. I think that Josh Reynolds, especially just like you mentioned with his connection with the Goff monster, I think that this is going to be great for real football. I don't know if that's going to translate over into fantasy football enough to make him relevant to go chasing Lions wide receivers, to go put them on my squad. So I hope he does well for real football. God bless the Lions and the Lions fans and poor Detroit Hearts all over poor Michigan. But no, I don't have any faith when it comes to fantasy. If I'm wrong, yay, I'm glad. Good for Josh. Okay. But I don't like it for fantasy at all.
That's certainly fair. Look, hey, I can't fault you for this. Khalif Raymond was the thing for a brief time. We had Amon-Ra St. Brown for a week. These kind of little things happen here and there. Quintus Cephas was briefly out there. So could be just 1 or 2 weeks for Josh Reynolds. I'm not saying you're wrong there. There's a lot of Michelle questions in here. Here's the easy version on Sony Michel. Hopefully you get news before your waivers run. I was about to say DeAndre Swift. If there is no Darrell Henderson, Sony Michel is a top 20 running back. It's that simple. But the problem is if Darrell Henderson plays, you can't even use him.
Yeah.
So that's where you have to go for. Like right now, if you're running waivers today, Lauren, I'm going Jamal Williams over Michel because at least we know Jamal Williams, worst case scenario, RB3, even if DeAndre Swift plays.
Agreed.
Like Michelle is just hinging on, and Michelle's probably only a 1 week play, even if Darrell Henderson's out.
Yes, and the thing with Jamal Williams is more explosive of a running back to me from the eyeball test here than Sony Michel is. I've seen Sony Michel pull Mark Sanchez far too much and just run into people's butts. I don't like that as much, whereas I think Jamal Williams can be involved in the passing game as well. So, I'll take Jamal Williams over Sony Michel today, right now.
Okay.
I'll do it right now.
That's it, right now.
I already have Jamal Williams everywhere, so.
Here's the interesting question, though. Would you take Jamal Williams or Sony Michel or I'm trying to think of anybody else this week. Oh, there's a name we got to get to. I will say I'll pause that name.
Oh, boy.
But the Titans running backs, after what they just did, but they're on a bye. That's the critical thing here. And here's the interesting thing about it, Lauren. I think you would agree and say it looks like Deonta Foreman is, hey, they're winning or maybe playing ball control. He's getting the lead carries. They're playing from behind, which you would expect a lot of games going forward the way the Titans are right now. More Dontrell Hilliard. However, have you seen who they play coming out of the bye?
Oh, yes, actually, it was right off the top of my tongue.
Jaguars.
The Jags, that's right.
Home. So it's a two-part question for you, Lauren. I don't know. Why am I holding this? I've been holding it for like the last 5 minutes. I know. This is waving my marker around.
Expelliarmus.
Would you go Foreman or Hilliard is the first question.
Mm-hmm.
And would you stash, because they're on a bye, those options because you think there's a higher ceiling off a 1 week Jamal Williams or a 1 week Sony Michel?
God, that is such a hard question because there's so much that is
what we're here
dependent
for.
on it. Okay, so let me break it down for you here, folks. All right, if my roster is in need of some high upside, dynamic playmakers, if you will, I would lean Dontrell Hilliard because of what he can do, not only in the passing game. He got 10 targets 2 weeks ago, and he did a lot when he had the carries a week ago. So he also has a ton of yards in the return game, which I like as well. So if I really need a dynamic playmaker there, I think I might lean Hilliard, but understand that he's riskier. Whereas if I need that safer play, someone that I know is going to at least get me points with a safer floor, then I might go Deonta Foreman. It's those two options. It really depends on what it is that my roster is going to need.
So would you stash either of them over a 1 week play? Let's assume you don't need a 1 week play.
Then yes, I would.
Would you stash them?
Yes, I would. Absolutely.
Because I think obviously the easy answer is if you need somebody this week, you're not gonna pick up guys who aren't playing.
Yeah.
Would you go both Titans running backs over both Panthers running backs?
Yes. Yes. Ugh.
Isn't that crazy? This is week
Cam
13.
Newton's press conference, he was like, just because you have Cam Newton on the team doesn't mean you win. It's like, are you referring to yourself in the third person all the time now?
Does that really surprise you? Honestly, it's like Chris. Oh God, Amir Abdullah, Chuba Hubbard, Deonta Foreman, Dontrell Hilliard, running back depth, running back depth, running back depth, running back depth. Even if you didn't draft running backs early, you could have built depth.
Yep.
Because you know who we're talking about next, Lauren. I'm going to give everybody a little
No.
flashback to a text I got
No.
2 weeks ago from Lauren before last week's show. So this is week 11 when it's happening. And Lauren texted, we're going to have to talk about Matt Breida, aren't we? And I said, yeah, but as a joke. And then week 12 happens. And week 12, Zach Moss, as I gave out the new word. This is the new word, Lauren. You might like it. Chris, this is what I say. Like, he was inactivated. So instead of a healthy scratch, he was
I like
inactivated.
it. Inactivated.
Zach Moss inactivated for week 12. And it was the Matt Breida and Devin Singletary show. Matt Breida ran the wrong way on a screen, was benched for the foreseeable future, but came back and scored a touchdown. Matt Breida, it's the Bills' backfield. You've just been shaking your head this entire time for anybody not watching the video.
It's awful.
So you are not doing Matt. Would you do Matt Breida? Look, the upside of what we've been chasing is that a Bills running back eventually could be 70% of the workload, because even 70% means it's more like 50% of the typical backfield because of Josh Allen. But Matt Breida behind both Panthers guys, behind both Titans guys, or would you take a flyer on Matt Breida just for the pure upside?
I would, if I didn't have to start.
That was the most
Matt
loaded
Breida.
question. If
That
you didn't
was.
notice,
That was.
I'm trying to get you to say Matt Breida if you haven't noticed.
I know. And the funny thing is I love Matt Breida. I hate the Bills' backfield. That is my biggest situation here. So if I had starters and I had people that I could plug and play, and I didn't have to rely on Matt Breida to be a starter, sure. Why not? This is ultimately meaning I'm not going to play him. So why would I waste anything to pick him up? Because this week, Matt Breida could be the healthy scratch, and Zach Moss is back in. Or they're going to pick up Adrian Peterson, who's back on his couch, and then he's going to run for 2 touchdowns. I just don't know. I don't trust the Bills' backfield. I'm very passionate about this, if you can't tell. I'm staying as far away as I can. I've said this since the preseason. I've said this since last year. I can't. No, I can't, because as soon as I get him and I play him in my lineup, he's going to be inactivated. For Zach Moss. That's how this goes. I know. And he's running the incorrect routes. It's almost as bad as Kirk Cousins lining up behind the guard. What are you doing?
It was one play. It's like his second active game of the season. It's not the first person to do something wrong.
Doesn't matter. I understand. But why did you inactivate Zach Moss?
Did you just Talladega Nights me with your hands?
Maybe.
Was that what that was? You don't know
I
what
don't know.
to do with your hands?
It's my shrug. I always, because when I do this, it's opposite for anyone, a little peek behind the curtain. So when I think I'm pointing at Jake, I'm not. I'm pointing in the opposite direction. So when I try to put my hands up, one always goes up over the other, and I'm trying to even them out. And then it just looks like this.
Do you want to sing Don't Go Chasing Bills Running Backs before we move on?
No. Don't go chasing Bills running backs. Please stick to Dontrell Hilliard and the Titans. Gotcha, Foreman.
You got a second verse from
For anybody watching YouTube, I'm really sorry. For anybody listening, I'm also very sorry. That was what just happened. I blacked out.
Speaking of bad running backs, last one here. So the higher ceiling has been with Ty Johnson, but Tevin Coleman pretty much dominated the snaps. And then we had the random active over LaMichael Pirine situation. Everybody doing a random search and going all right, let's say, who is Austin Walter? Oh, this guy. But we know Austin Walter's not really a thing. But is Tevin Coleman a thing for you? Because Tevin Coleman, as much as he's on the really bad offense, the offense isn't that much worse than the Houston Texans offense, but at least he's averaging 4 yards a carry, unlike Rex Burkhead. It's the similar workload, but at least Tevin Coleman, hey, I'm not a Tevin Coleman guy, but he had some burst in that game. Let's be honest.
Yes.
So are you chasing Tevin Coleman?
I don't mind this one. I don't mind this one, especially with leagues that have a really deep bench or in deeper leagues. If you're playing in those 12, 14 teams, maybe, if he's available, get him. He's a starting running back that's getting a bulk of the carries. It's not flashy. It's not sexy. You don't have that huge amount of upside, but hey, he's going to be on the field and he's going to be scoring you points. So I don't hate this at all. And I like Tevin Coleman. I like him very much. And I'm glad to see him get just, maybe a few more little pieces of life in his NFL career. So I don't mind this at all.
I love the shout out that somebody just gave you in the chat to the Elaine dance from Seinfeld.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah.
Oh man. My husband does an amazing Elaine dance. Like
It's really.
it is
I just realized
epic.
I could. It's really hard to do in a chair. Like you can't.
It's
that's
really
us- you
hard to do in
can't.
a chair.
You
It
can't.
is. You need space to work with that.
You get. You
I mean,
gotta
I'm
really, 'cause
very-
you can't
I'm-
kick the legs. Yeah.
I know. Like, and I'm very all over the place when I'm sitting here talking, and even that was rough. I think I just pulled something.
Before we get
I'm
to
too old for
wide
this.
receiver. Too old for this. You're gonna
Yep.
lethal
I didn't
weapon
say it.
us. Before we get to wide receivers, one wide receiver question and then the worries. But wide receiver question, I saw this. I want to come back to it. Marvin Jones has been. Would you drop Marvin Jones for Josh Reynolds?
Oh. Oh. Oh.
Look at that thinking thought over there.
No, I don't think I would drop Marvin Jones for Josh Reynolds, but I would drop Marvin Jones for some other wide receivers that I like.
We'll
Deshaun
play
Jackson is one of
Marvin-
them.
don't you jump ahead. We'll play Marvin Jones versus when we get to the wide receivers.
I just ruined Jake's.
worries.
I ruined Jake's Tuesday every Tuesday. Just everybody, this is
No,
a
that's-
thing if
that's
you're new
just-
to the
yeah.
show.
Actually, my birthday is really November 30th, and I pushed it to the 29th this year, so you couldn't ruin it.
Oh, awesome. See, well done. Thinking ahead, Jake. Well done.
Let's talk worries. Tom Brady, 2 of the last 3 games, stinkers. Schedule isn't glorious down the stretch. He is getting Antonio Brown back. Try to say
Antonio
that 5 times
Bratt?
fast.
I think that works great.
Yeah, that actually does. Rob
Perfect.
Gronkowski's been balling out. But how concerned would you be if Tom Brady has been and is your only quarterback?
I would be at a 3. I'd be at a 3 here.
Really?
But no, I lied. As soon as that came out of my mouth, it sounded wrong. 2.
2. I gave
I'm
him
at a 2.
I gave him a duck and an egg. And the
2.
egg is only
Let's do.
because of the schedule.
Yeah, that's why I have the second duck. It's because of the schedule.
And that's for everybody that doesn't know. Weeks 4, so not 13. 13's fine. Atlanta,
Mm-hmm.
yay. Weeks 14, 15, 16. Bills, Saints, Panthers. There is not a tougher pass defensive 3-game stretch. And it's Tom Brady. That's why he's only a duck and an egg, because he's Tom Brady.
Right.
But, you know, the lack of rushing upside was what hurts. So let's talk about these next 3 quarterbacks, all who have rushing upside and all have concern levels. Oh, Lamar Jackson. Do you know that was his first single-digit score of the year? Did you know that?
Really?
Did
No.
you?
Well,
Yes.
yeah, that would make sense.
The only other quarterback that only has one single-digit score, Josh Allen, who did it against the Jaguars, mind you. Lamar Jackson did. Oh, no. This is where I'm going, though.
No
Lamar
words.
Jackson at least did his against the Browns defense. So that's why I gave Lamar Jackson a whole 1 single duck. I am not concerned.
Yeah, I agree. That was not pretty. The 4 interceptions were ridiculous. But he understands that he needs to go back to the drawing board. I think those are fixable too. I mean, they were just kind of silly mistakes that aren't characteristic, so that didn't worry me as much. So 1, yeah, I'm there.
Okay. Do you know there's another quarterback who's only had 1 single-digit performance this year?
Yeah,
And
it was
do you know
bad.
his name?
Jalen
Do you know
Hurts.
his name is Jalen Hurts, who
Yeah.
also has one of the best, even after that game, touchdown to interception ratios in the league.
Gross.
So it's only a second game under 16.7 points. How many concerned ducks do you give Jalen Hurts?
I'm actually a little bit higher on this because I don't trust anything that Nick Sirianni does at all. I'm going to give him 2 and a duck. I'm going to give him
I
2.
gave
And
him
I'm
2.
getting
You
you're
mean
gonna
2 and
give
an egg?
2 and an egg, 2 and a duck. What's 2 and an egg?
So you gave him 3?
I give him.
Is that
I'm
like people?
so-
Is it
I'm
people
so
who say
good at
like
duck
a
math.
4 feet 13 inches? Like you're
Yeah,
just
I know. Don't worry about it. I'm 5'12". Yeah, no. 2 and an egg. 2 and an egg. And I was the one who created the egg, and I still messed it up.
You
Can't
did.
take me anywhere.
All right. How about the last one? You mentioned his name already. Mr. Press Conference, goofy hat, clothes king himself, Cam Newton, looked like the New England Patriots Cam Newton. There's
Yeah.
no question about it.
Yeah.
Everybody's like, benched for his performance. Sure, but he was also benched in a blowout. I think if that game was close, Cam Newton wasn't. Like, put it this way. The conversation that the Panthers and Cam had behind the scenes that we didn't see, and the reason he didn't sign into this point, included Cam Newton saying, I am your starter, correct? And they said, yes, you are our starter. They're not switching to P.J. Walker. They switched to P.J. Walker in that game. It's not the first time. That being said, he looked disgusting as a thrower in that game. Miami pass defense, quite a good pass defense. how many ducks would you give Cam Newton after watching that game?
I'm a solid 4 on Cam Newton.
Yeah, that's how many I gave him. 4.
Yeah, 4.
Boom.
I am a solid 4 because I don't know how you can possibly get worse. I say that now. It'll probably happen. That was so bad. In fact, I heard there was I think it was a little clip, and someone had dubbed over "I'm back" to "I'm bad." I'm bad because it was
Do you
terrible.
also know? Do you also just like that was?
Yeah.
Do you also know the
That
schedule
was the point.
for the Panthers?
Bad and bad. I had it not off the top of my head. Who they play? Tell me, Sensei.
So they're on a bye. They come out and they get the Falcons at home. Yay! At Bills
Ugh.
versus Bucks at Saints to finish off the season. So there's a second part to this question, Lauren. If Cam Newton was your backup quarterback and you're playing for upside, you just drop him.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
I
Yep.
agree
That,
with you.
easy answer.
You're just-
Easy answer there. Yes. Yes.
So then let's go to the Browns for running backs. Back to that game. How concerned would you be of Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt in that game as they head into their bye? 1
0
like I
ducks.
have?
Can I even
0?
assign a duck to them? I'm not concerned.
Okay. So 0, 0, 0. Like
Yeah, I'm
even-
not. I'm
don't
not
even-
concerned with
don't
either
even
of
put it
them.
here. Don't even ask.
Don't. Why are
even
you
care.
asking me? Why are you asking me these disgusting questions?
Then let me ask you about Aaron Jones. Aaron Jones worried. Ooh, yeah. Worries a lot of people and a bye week this week. So Aaron Jones comes back. How many ducks would you give him? Because I am going to bury the lead because I don't want to give away my answer.
Okay, I'll give him 3. 3
Okay.
and an egg here because AJ Dillon looks very, very good, and Aaron Jones is still hurt. I don't know how much the bye week is really going to help him here, and AJ Dillon is really helping out Aaron Rodgers a lot. So my level of concern, even understanding what Aaron Jones is already, because I'm sure there's infinity duck here for people who wanted Aaron Jones to be like the next Christian McCaffrey. No, we're talking
That's
about the
true.
realistic expectations of what we expected Aaron Jones to be. That's even faltering further here. So I'm at the 3 and an egg for Mr. Jones.
So I give him 2.
Okay.
Here's why. And that's why I don't want to bury the lead. So because I was going to say in his first game back, before the game got out of hand, was seeing the Aaron Jones workload. He was seeing the 60-40 and the majority of the passing game work. And then things got out of hand. They were in control, and they said what a lot of teams would say, why risk Aaron Jones down the stretch? But I gave him 2 and not 1 for this reason, Lauren, and this is something I mentioned on the Athletic show, is I do see a scenario coming out of the bye where there are now the Patriots. Before this, they were the Cowboys. Aaron Jones was Ezekiel Elliott, fringe RB1. You get RB3 value out of Tony Pollard and A.J. Dillon. That's who they were. But I can see the 2 potentially even turning into a 3 because they come out and now they are both RB2s, both with potential RB1 upside, but in that Javonte Williams / Melvin Gordon situation, which, by the way, we almost cursed Melvin Gordon, and he came out okay. So close. But that's where I'm going with that. So I brought Ezekiel Elliott into this conversation because we have during the game, he's playing through the knee injury. He comes and gets his touchdown. Everything looks fine. But then we get reports after the game. They might rest him. Then we get reports coming from the new head coach, apparently, while Mike McCarthy is on the COVID list, because Jerry comes out and says Ezekiel Elliott is going to get a hell of a workload on Thursday Night Football because, again, I guess he's the head coach this week. What do you make? How many ducks are you giving Ezekiel Elliott? Because this has so many levels of, like, does he play through the injury? Does he get rested for a game? Does he lose more touches? Where are you going with this?
Okay, can I give the ducks to like the managers of Ezekiel Elliott? And I'll just give you an infinity duck because there's no way to like weed through all of this garbage, right? So there is no doubt that Ezekiel Elliott is hurt. However, let's just take a look at what we've seen this entire season between Ezekiel Elliott and Tony Pollard. If Ezekiel Elliott's on the field, I don't see that changing. There were reports earlier, just like you said, they're going to back off of Ezekiel Elliott. They're going to rest him. And then he's practicing in full participant. And like, what happened to him being hurt? And you're going to back off of him and let him rest. It's so confusing. So I'm giving the worry levels to the actual fantasy managers of Ezekiel Elliott and not Ezekiel Elliott himself. How about that? Full infinity duck. I'm sorry, everyone, if you're having to deal with this.
I do like it, but I'll say this. If you are a winning team, and I don't mean, what is this? This is week 13. So 7-5 is barely winning. So 8-4 or better, you're likely in the playoffs. I said I would actually go try to buy low on Ezekiel Elliott for what you're talking about because people they don't know. You're right. There is no clarity on the situation. We could go
It's
into this
awful.
Thursday night game, and Zeke could get that first. He could get the Aaron Jones treatment. Could be in the first series and barely seen the rest of the game. So would you try to buy low on Zeke for the playoffs?
Yeah, I could do that. Yes, I could definitely see doing that because I don't think that there's a world where you can get less expensive, if you want to call it, RB1 than Ezekiel Elliott right now. This is the best
Bigger
time to
discount?
do that. Yeah, figured that's the way. I couldn't find the right phrase. It was somewhere in there. Thank you for pulling it out of my dome there, Jake.
Because you know who they get. The last 4 games, by the way, if anybody hasn't checked their schedule, Washington, Giants, Washington, Cardinals. Run. This is so. Worst case, and this is what I said yesterday, worst case scenario, this is another one. Worst case scenario, this is now the Broncos. Pollard better, Zeke worse, but still a fine RB2. They're going to skip past most of the wide receivers. Anyone wants to check out the column. I actually did give an infinity duck to a group of wide receivers.
Ooh.
But let me ask you, Jamar Chase, now 3 quiet-ish weeks, 1 saved by a touchdown. You know this, Lauren. A couple weeks ago, I kept mentioning Joe Burrow in the passing game for the Bengals was a sell high. And now, that being said, this is how you play stock markets. This is how you play fantasy. I would actually try to buy, if the trade deadline hasn't passed, most people's trade deadline are gone now.
Yes.
But I would actually try to buy low on Jamar Chase at this point because you know who Jamar Chase is turning into now? No, he's not a top 10 wide receiver. No, he's not top 5 and like he was like Justin Jefferson a few weeks ago. But now he's Adam Thielen. I don't care if you're touchdown reliant if that is your role.
Yeah.
I'm okay with Jamar Chase as a solid mid-high-end wide receiver too the rest of the season.
100% agreed. I love Jamar Chase. I love T. Higgins as well. Like this is just kind of par for the course when it comes to this offense. So absolutely go buy low if you can on Jamar Chase.
I have to go through the tea leaves and the people's worries. This is the reading the room, and this is everything that's out there. So back to Jalen Hurts. How worried are you about Devonta Smith?
Very 4. Give me 4. And it has nothing to do with Devonta Smith. That's what sucks about this whole situation. Why on earth did they want to rely on Jalen Reagor? Okay, you made a bonehead move last year. Okay, Eagles, you picked Jalen Reagor over Justin Jefferson. Okay,
They're never going to live that down.
Just understand you made a mistake. Don't force this. Okay, now they have Jalen Reagor out there who is not dependable, and that takes away all of the targets and it takes away the connection that Jalen Hurts needs to continue to foster with Devonta Smith. That is why I'm worried. It's not because of Devonta Smith. It's because of everything else around him. The Eagles are so frustrating to me right now because of Nick Sirianni and because they're making these weird plays and these weird starters like Jalen Reagor. It makes no sense to me. None.
We found Lauren's trigger point this week is the Eagles. I love it.
Eagles and the Bills running backs.
I also love the fact that you did what I've noticed this year is, and I'm not calling you out for this. I think I've probably even done it. I've heard announcers do it as you said Devonta and Devontae in the same sentence because
I do, yeah.
Yeah, it was because of the name.
Which one is
Devonta?
Is it Devonta? Okay, Devonta.
But I mean, like it's like Devontae. Like that, I think is he the one? Somebody
because
out there
there's
said
Devontae Parker, Devontae
right.
Adams,
yes.
Devonta Freeman, Devonta Smith.
Booker.
Devontae
Booker has the A-E, and I'm pretty sure Smith is the one that said I don't have an E in my name. Or
so it's
somebody,
just,
one of the players out there said that and was like, "This is how you pronounce my name."
So I got a 50-50.
Yes,
I got it half right.
Before we get to the wide receivers to pick up, that we're gonna get back to real quick. I noticed Cortland Sutton did get an infinity duck droppable, has been droppable for weeks, and then I want to go back. There was another comment. Oh, Jamar Chase for his draft value has been insane. Hammer this point home. It's week 13, so it's a little late to hammer this point home, but hammer it for next year and continue to make it is once the season starts, draft capital means nothing. Perception clouds people's, I was going to say intelligence. I would say like the correct moves, how to properly manage your team because they remember what they paid and they don't want to give something up and they don't want to sell low and they don't want to buy high and then like all this. And it's understandable, like, oh my God, what he could be is you got to let the perceptions got to go out the window. Think of it as clearly as possible.
It's hard to do,
can.
but yes.
It is. It's very not easy. And what comes is probably the most common thing that really kills people, Lauren, is that people always overinflate their players on their team. Like,
oh, absolutely.
They see, yes. Like you and me, we could both have Cortland Sutton on our rosters in the same league. and we'll both sit there and look at each other and be like, no, you should drop Cortland Sutton. I'm not trading for him. But the person who has him is going to be like, well, it's Cortland Sutton. Could you imagine if he finally got right? You see what I'm saying?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, wide receivers.
Yes.
Am I insane to
Yes.
continue to keep saying? Okay, fair. But am I insane for saying that if healthy, Sterling Shepard is a top 30 wide receiver and stop letting him sit on waivers?
I don't think it's insane. Just is it reality? Like, is he ever gonna be
it is reality.
back?
That's the reality part of it. Is he ever going to be healthy?
Yeah, but no, if he's healthy and on the field, absolutely. He's Daniel Jones' security blanket. But what is the
And if
reality
he's
of that
not out there,
actually
Kadarius
happening?
Toney is.
Yeah, exactly. So, but what is so? Are you kind of crazy? Yeah, because you're holding out hope that this is
I'm
going to
expecting
happen.
that Shepard actually returns.
Yes.
Look, Shepard's coming back. Shepard's playing at some point. All right, so let's do Marvin Jones versus Sterling Shepard. Would you drop Marvin Jones to go pick up Sterling Shepard?
Absolutely.
I say yes because you're not starting Marvin Jones.
Right. Yeah,
Would you drop
absolutely,
Marvin Jones
for
to
sure.
pick up Kadarius Toney.
Yes, I would do that as well.
Because Kadarius Toney is Sterling Shepard. Ray Finkel is Einhorn. That is who they are. They are the Spider-Man gif. So
Oh my God.
let's move on. Yes, Van Jefferson. One snap more than Odell Beckham. I think one route fewer, or maybe it's the other way around. But basically, neck and neck, as expected. Both wide receiver threes with potential top 20 upside. Odell Beckham's way over 60% rostered. Van Jefferson still isn't. Is this criminal?
Is it criminal? Yes. I think it is. And you were talking about perception just a few moments ago. And I think that is the perception of, but what if OBJ can be back to OBJ? That goes down to that. I really like Van Jefferson. I like him a lot. For me, this is if you just take away what we perceive the value of the name to be, you're looking at
Do what I always say.
Jefferson is a little bit better. Take the name off the jersey. Exactly. Look at the numbers, if you will. But whatever. Matt Stafford already has a relationship with Van Jefferson here. There's trust that's built up. Just that by itself is worth more to me than the name of Odell Beckham Jr.
Who, by the way, got gimpy on that one play again.
Yeah, he did.
So I'm assuming drop Marvin Jones for Van Jefferson.
Yes.
How about
Ooh.
Urban Meyer's been backed into a corner once again. He was backed into a corner with James Robinson. He forced Jamal Agnew down our throat. On this show last week, I joked and said, watch Laquan Treadwell and Tavon Austin be things. They both were things. But at least Laviska Shenault was also a thing. Would you drop Marvin Jones for the teammate, Laviska Shenault?
I don't think I would. I'm not gonna play the lateral move there to drop one wide receiver in the same offense for another. I think Marvin Jones has that big play upside. So if I'm going to go with the Jaguars wide receiver, I'm just going to stick with the one I already have.
All right. How about Kendrick the Bourne Infuriation?
Sign me up. I love Kendrick Bourne. I loved him when he was on the 49ers.
Until Nelson Aguilar this week.
What it could be, I don't necessarily know. I think Kendrick Bourne
Exactly.
has really started to come into his own.
You know who the Patriots wide receivers are? They're just the good version of the Lions.
That's true. They're a way better version of the Lions. Don't you besmirch the New England wide receivers. I'm not a huge Patriots fan or anything.
Kendrick Bourne, two huge games, two so-so games. Nelson Aguilar, big game mixed in there. Jacoby Myers, mostly steady, had the big game with the finally scoring a touchdown. I'm just saying,
I'll take Kendrick Bourne.
Look, I'm going in order. I have Kendrick Bourne one spot in front of Marquez Valdez-Scantling.
Oh, yes. Good for you. Thank you. Yay.
Okay.
Go team.
Would you drop Marvin Jones for Kendrick Bourne?
Yes.
Would you drop Marvin
I love how
Jones
you were
for Marquez
silent there. Like, I
Valdez-Scantling?
can't believe she just said that. Would I drop Marvin Jones for MVS?
Yes.
Yes, I would. And I would hate my life as I did it, but I would understand that is the correct move.
How about Devontae Parker, the other Devontae, like the 15 Devontaes we have.
No! Yeah.
Would you drop him for Devontae Parker, who could come back? And I mean, the Dolphins are desperate for this second option. They've been waiting for Will Fuller or Devontae Parker the entire year. But similar to Sterling Shepard, is it insanity just to think that Devontae Parker is going to come back and stay on the field?
That's my thing. Okay, let's say in this hypothetical vacuum world we're talking about, and Devontae Parker is coming back. This is what we're talking about here. Yes, I would drop Marvin Jones for Devontae Parker. Would I drop Marvin Jones for Will Fuller? No. Dead to me.
I wasn't pulling Will Fuller in this conversation.
Because you already know.
Would you go Chenault or Bourne between the two?
Oh, Bourne.
Okay.
I'll go Bourne. I know I'm high. I'm very bullish on Kendrick Bourne.
So you are. So
Oh, now
you
he's
can-
gonna get
you're-
hurt. Oh my God, what have I done?
Yeah, probably. Have you
What
done
have
your
I
waiver show
done?
yet? Or is
Yes.
it later today? You
I
already
did a waiver
it?
show. Yeah, last night, and then I already wrote my article this morning
Oh,
on the
see?
treadmill at the same time.
Oh, okay. I was gonna say yours should be the Bourne supremacy. That's what yours. It's like you have Bourne over everybody. That's
I
the
do.
easy one.
It is the Bourne supremacy. It's gonna be a Bourne
So
ultimatum
you
if
can even
anyone
say-
argues with me.
How
I
about
couldn't.
here's an interesting group with Devontae Parker. Devontae Parker versus T.Y. Hilton versus Traquan Smith. Rank
That
those
is really
three.
tough. That is really tough. It's hard because they have completely different identities here.
I mean, they are three different people.
But you know what I mean. Oh, jeez. Not just their social security number there, Jiggy. Okay, I would go. Yikes! I would go T.Y. Hilton. Did you say Devontae Parker there in the beginning?
Yes.
T.Y.
And
Hilton.
Traquan.
T.Y. Hilton, Devontae Parker if he's coming back, and then Traquan Smith. That was hard to do.
Is that MVS over all of them?
Yes. Ooh. Ew, yes. Why?
Hey, look, this is the decision people have. Did you know, by the way, in the past 4 weeks, MVS has already jumped back up to 5th in unrealized air yards.
Oh my
Just so-
God.
By the way, do you want to guess who number 1 is in the past 4 weeks?
Death on Diggs.
No, he's not even inside the top 7. I'll give
No.
you a hint. Played in last night's game.
Oh. Who played last
Infuriated
night?
everybody. Well, he kind of didn't play much because of Russ. Can't give you any more bigger hints than that.
Well, it's either DK Metcalf or Tyler Lockett, but Tyler Lockett's the
It's
big air guy, so.
It's DK Metcalf in the last
Yeah.
4 weeks, 251 unrealized air yards. Marvin Jones is second at 186.
I'm trying to put that game out of my mind because I just needed Taylor Heineke to score 15, 18 points, and then DK Metcalf to get less than 3, and I would have won. We had the DK Metcalf side right, just not the Taylor Heineke side right.
Oh no,
I lost.
It was bad. It was a
was
rough
really
game.
bad.
By the way,
It was a rough game.
number 3 is Jamar Chase. To speak of him, by the way,
Huh.
as well. Yep. All right. Before we get out of here, we don't usually talk tight ends, but
Ooh,
I wanted to bring up a specific name real quick before we get out of here.
we got a few of them.
Darren-
Hope it's the right one.
It probably should be Darren Waller, likely out for Week 13.
Ugh. Sad day.
Yes, but I can tell you right now, if he's out, my rankings at midnight, 12:01 a.m. Eastern, Wednesdays for everybody. Foster Moreau will be a top 10 tight end. It is that
I'll
simple.
take it.
100% of the snaps. 100 in the game that Darren Waller was out there. And last week, by the way, I double-checked this to make sure it was correct. I didn't realize the Raiders ran that many plays. It was something like 80-something snaps for Foster Moreau, even in a game that Darren Waller played.
Really?
Yeah, I'm going to double-check. Look, hey, I'm going to go right back to it again. I was like, wait, that number cannot be right. And I looked, and I
That's
looked, and I looked.
insane.
Here we go. So you're on board. I was waiting for you to
Yeah.
comment. You're on board with the loss.
Oh yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
So it was, where is it? I'm trying to find it. So snaps. So last week, snaps wise, yep, it's more insane than you think it is. This one game, Hunter Renfrow 64, Zay Jones 62, Brian Edwards 57, Jacobs 54, blah blah blah, all the way down. Darren Waller only 17, 96 snaps.
That's
for Foster Moreau.
That's crazy. That is crazy.
Unless
Like
somewhere
50s I
someone
could see.
broke it.
Like, are we sure about this? Did they run that many plays?
Something, maybe it's 69. They've got the numbers backwards.
Maybe
Did the Raiders really run 96 plays
Like, honestly, that's
in 1 week?
is that possible? Like, I don't know.
I mean, that game was insane, and we did have the
was.
overtime.
It was, and it was good.
So,
okay.
in any case,
Yeah, I feel much. Yeah, Foster Moreau is that one, especially if you were the Darren Waller manager, of which I am. Foster Moreau, absolutely pick him up. He has the opportunity. Plus, I really like who they're playing down the stretch. Week 14, they're going to be playing against the Kansas City Chiefs. So if Darren Waller is not back yet, that's going to be a shootout, in my opinion. They usually do have that weird rivalry that they have, and they're, driving around each other's stadiums and buses and such. So I'm very excited about the next two matchups for Foster Moreau.
All right, follow Lauren.
Plus, the name
at
is
Stepmom
Foster
Lauren.
Moreau. How hipster. Foster
Go to
Moreau.
FTN code all in 20% off theathletic.com/betstv. All capitals. Get you your first free month. Because if you missed Black Friday, I don't know what the hell you were doing. Logan Thomas versus Foster Moreau. Logan Thomas also for the long term.
Yes.
Yeah, look. So save that spicy. Reminder. Tomorrow's the last day. Today's the second to last day. Thumbs up, comment, subscribe, 5 stars, review, all those things, entries. After tomorrow, we'll have a giveaway. I'll announce it Monday. The 3 people who won the gift cards. Thank you, everybody. Also, thanks again for the birthday wishes, even if they're late. See you later.